A few quick updates, some interesting things going on the planet as we are definitely moving into a very profound time of awakening and shifting. And I've been talking a lot about the Lionsgate energy and some of the frequencies coming in and some of what's been going on as we start to really just get more and more awakening to the truth about what's happening on our planet and where we really are in this ascension timeline. So I want to do this. I know sometimes it takes a little while for the streaming to propagate to different sources. So we'll just chat for a little bit, and then we're going to go straight to some of the news that I think is relevant today, and also some of the energy shifts that are happening. And again, we just got out of this big Lionsgate portal. There's a lot of frequency, a lot of things happening. And, my big focus at U-Wealth Revolution really is how do we begin to activate this ascension? How do we begin to really bring it forward into the world and understand what it means to free humanity from this third dimensional reality? And it's all about raising the vibration. And as we go higher and higher up in vibration, and as the planet begins to go higher and higher and up in vibration, we begin to activate our 12-strand DNA. And I'm going to be talking more about that during this broadcast. So let me jump in. I want to start, y'all, some of the things that came across my awareness. And let me go see if I can find the website here. Hold on a second, y'all. Sorry about that. I'm going through some different things here. Oops. Okay, there we go. All right, so I want to talk about this first article that was really interesting. And this comes from phys.org. And in this article, they talk about the fact that according to some research and monitoring over a 2-hour period, 4 images from this paper that was written by some researchers found that Milky Way's black hole just flared, growing 75 times as bright for a few hours. And I'll read some of the insights of this. This was being reported in the Astrophysical Journal Letters, and in a very exciting paper title called Unprecedented Variability of SGRA in NIR, which I have no idea what that means. But here's the thing. I guess SGRA might be a black hole that literally flared at 75 times normal over a 2-hour period. So that is pretty wild. So you have this flaring. Oops, that's interesting. It's doing that. You have this flaring of 75 times normal. I mean, think about that. Twice normal would be actually like twice as bright, but 75 times, I mean, that's just enormous. And you can see the image captures here. I think I'll try to play it if it comes through. So this is a black hole apparently that is basically going to burst and flash 75 times brighter. You can see it right there, which may not seem like a big deal, but you have to keep in mind that it was so bright, as it says in the article, that they mistook it for a star, and they'd never seen that black hole that bright. So it begs the question, what was going on? So first, somebody thought, okay, there's got to be something really interesting going on with a black hole. Here's the picture right here. This is the image of the actual black hole. It's a supermassive hole at the center of the galaxy M87 and has been captured by the Event Horizon Telescope. The black hole itself can't actually be seen, but this image is actually of its event horizon. So why would it flare like this, and what is going on? Well, I'm gonna share something kind of interesting that is a possibility. And again, I'm not an astrophysicist, I'm not an astronomer, but is it possible that these higher dimensional energies, this like streams of frequency energy is just beaming through these black holes and these areas, these portals, and it is basically, of course, hitting the earth cosmically? We're feeling these waves. And we're just now starting to be able to track some of what's going on as we're getting bombarded with more and more of these energies. And that's exactly what, I mean, if I could put it, it's like that's exactly what I think is happening. That's exactly what I think is really going on here. So some big, big waves of energy coming through, and that may reveal a lot of what's going on the planet. So definitely keep that in mind. All right, I also want to do just kind of a rather fun update for everybody as we're starting our new season. U-Wealth Revolution, September 17th. I asked the Facebook community, which do you like better, A, B, or C, in terms of our special gift we're going to be giving everybody. And it looks like there was a lot of people that said they liked C, but it looks like most people liked A. So if you're watching the video on YouTube or Facebook and you want to chime in, definitely I'd love to know which one you liked better. And you can take a look at that. So really appreciate everybody who contributed and just shared with us to help us really bring in this soul joy awakening. And this gift that I'm going to be giving for everybody who signs up for our event is really aligned with my 7th and 8th dimensional awakening experience, because what I found was going into those higher realms and higher realms of the soul, this was immense bliss and immense joy. And for the first time ever, I'm really going to be trying to duplicate through an energetic process, but also through frequency, what that felt like and the vibrations that came in with that. So it's going to be a free gift. It's going to be very cool. And it's part of what we're doing for our U-Wealth Revolution launch. But thanks everybody that helped us figure out which one we were going to use. I mean, that's just massive. So let me go back. I don't know if y'all can see this here. Hopefully y'all saw it, but these were the different choices. And I just want to thank everybody, A, B, and C. And it may not show that well on your computer, but A has got this beautiful energy. And we got some great feedback from people like Segmet and others who said, this is bringing a lot of the Mary Magdalene energies and the beautiful colors. So that's the one. And with that, I want to talk about something else that was pretty interesting that just happened today, or maybe the news broke today. If you don't follow Project Veritas, you might want to. They have been a very, very reputable source, kind of bringing in for a lot of people the truth about what's been going on with censorship, with Google and some of the things they've been doing. And this story just broke. A Google insider actually came forward explaining all about things going on at Google, the control of information, figuring out how to minimize in ads and like taking away sort of like the ability for these companies to earn subscribers and things using certain algorithms. And hundreds of internal Google documents have been now leaked to Project Veritas, including news blacklists and human raiders. And this insider is asking more people just to come out, because one of the things I think a lot of people are concerned about is, the real fear that big tech companies begin to control information. And that information, if it's suppressed or if it's manipulated or it's not balanced, and we see one side of the story, what does that do? Well, that affects human consciousness. And it's really dangerous. I mean, it's the same thing as people burning books, in a communist regime, right? That's what they do so that your thought can't go in any other direction but where they want you to go. So the whistleblower insider's name is Zachary Voorhees, and he decided to go public after receiving a letter from Google, and after Google said he already called the police to perform a wellness check on him. So he said, I gave the documents to Project Veritas. I've been collecting them for over a year. I saw something dark and nefarious going on with the company and realized that they were going to not only tamper with elections, but use that tampering with elections to essentially overthrow the United States. Crazy stuff. I mean, that's a big claim, but I would say go in here. They even have made these internal documents available. So if you go to Project Veritas, which is veritas.com, there's a whole Google document dump. Now, I can't vouch for the safety of the downloads. I haven't downloaded all of them, but wow. Things like psychological research, machine learning, fairness, politics, censorship, and everything else. I mean, and honestly, the world we're living in, we are ascending so fast. We're realizing how much, groups and people of power in our world have been sort of living by separate rules and separate secretive agreements. It's we can't live like that anymore. It's time, and all that does is weaken our power as a humanity. So I think that's really important. And so we gotta just wake up to the truth. We gotta realize that this ascension is going to be all about bringing in love. It's about bringing in truth. And if information is being held back, and we're not able to really see the truth, then guess what? I mean, we're not going to be able to fully understand the reality of what's coming in. And so, yeah, definitely take a look at that. And it's at Project Veritas. But I want to keep going because there have been some other interesting things today. This will be a little bit of a short update. So this was really interesting, the Google Insider. So take a look at that, Project Veritas. All right, another interesting bit that came in, and this was dropped on the 12th, which is like 2 days ago from the date of this. Now, this, I can't vouch for the validity of this, but this was from somebody who I guess was in the British press. And this was from an anonymous board that they posted this information. I don't know if it was 4chan. It looks like it's 4chan, perhaps. This person said, I work in the British press and I've just got notice of what is being called a bridge event. I don't know who it is yet, but we're told that a royal funeral is being prepped to be held 8 days after the announcement of death. Speculation, it's Prince Philip, the Queen, or Prince Andrew. Please screen cap this. So I remember seeing this and I thought, well, that's kind of weird. Like, why would they do that? Is somebody just like going to disappear for a while? Is it maybe to shift the news cycle and to get attention away from the Epstein stuff? And lo and behold, I saw this today and I was like, wow, like 2 days later. This is from Brian Taylor, I guess, of BBC, award-winning journalist and correspondent to BBC in North Britain. Prince Andrew announced his retirement today from public life after a long period of personal stress. Now, if you remember, when we were talking about the Epstein situation, he was one of the names that came out a ton. He was also, there were pictures and all of this. So he's following advice from his doctor. So who knows what in the world is going on here? But is it tied to the Epstein situation? Maybe. I don't know. But definitely very interesting. And alternative media is definitely doing an amazing job. And I want to share real quick. I'll share like just a little bit of a screen grab. But I got a chance today to interview Ben and Rob from The Edge of Wonder and talk about alternative media. It's like incredible what they're doing. But yeah, just wild stuff happening. All right, so I want to share another thing here too, from Kaba Moore, who I follow on Twitter every once in a while. And he made this one post I thought was very relevant. There will not be a complete disclosure until the shift, but awareness and knowing is here now. I want everyone to think about what he's saying is that awareness and knowing is actually here right now. That like we can have that awareness, we can have that knowing, we can have that understanding. And I'm not saying to just like make up stuff or just believe every single thing you hear, but be open to what truth is being revealed right now on the planet, and then plug in to what feels right to you in your heart, what feels light, what feels real, what feels true. Because one of the things that the Lionsgate energy brought out for a lot of us was really getting to that clean house, to really let go of those things that are not part of our truth and really plugging into those things that we really are. And so I think what we are definitely seeing is a very big portal opening up, a very big portal of truth, where if we just plug in, if you just start looking into some of these things and questioning, we are leading the way for that ascension. And that's really what we can do right now. That's the biggest role we can play. And also staying in the light, staying in the place where we are not overcome by the bad news or the dark. And that's kind of why yesterday I did that activation on Facebook. It's also on my YouTube channel, because like I was feeling like, man, I'm just getting drained, and we got to cut the cords. We got to release the old matrices and belief systems that are holding us back and begin to plug into our truth. So the other thing Kaba Moore says is there will be a noted increase of news on disclosure from this moment on. Breathe. Enlightenment is present and open for all created beings. So one of the things that I take that as is that the portals are open. So when you think about higher dimensional truth coming in, and as I was doing some research on a lot of this, one of the things that I've heard over and over again with some of the lower 11, like the 11th dimensional, or the 11th strand, I should say, beings like the Anunnaki and the Dracon, which are 10 strand, that the focus was at some level to put in a frequency fence, or install like a frequency fence over the earth, so that information, higher dimensional awareness, like the mass public couldn't wake up, couldn't actually begin to activate that 12 strand DNA. Now this is all happening through the grid lines and the ley lines on the planet. And as the earth begins to get activated, we go back to that, story about what could be part of that cosmic energy, that black hole, sending all of that higher vibration energy like 75 times, through this cosmos and through those, that galactic web that Corey Good talks about, where all the suns are actually connected by this, space filament that actually activates all these suns, and that it's all happening from this galactic center. When all that stuff starts coming in, guess what? I mean, everything begins to raise. The grid lines begin to activate more. All of our frequency begins to activate, and also our 12 strand DNA, those 10 strands that are basically unlinked, basically begin to reactivate through a crystalline matrix structure that basically begins to create a connection between those DNA strands. So all of that information is here. I mean, it's all coming in. We just have to continue to stay focused on getting to the truth. And so, there may be things that come up that make us fearful or in suffering or pain or worry, but hold tight to energy processes that make you feel expanded and alive. I mean, that's why at UWealth Revolution we focus so much on that, because we could tell you all the things going on that are sort of like, wow, troubling or worrisome, but the real truth is, like, if we can actually begin to plug into our higher dimensional self, we can be in this world, but we can bring in as individual grid points all of that higher dimensional energy and shift everything. And that's really what I'm so focused in on right now, as so much energy is coming in. I also want to do a quick shout out. Next week, I'm going to be sharing something pretty cool that I got to do, and I was really, really happy about it. Got to interview Ben and Rob from the Edge of Wonder, and it was just awesome. And so I'll give y'all just a little bit of the interview, but we're just going to play a little bit here just of the screen caps and I guess some of what we did. But it was really a great experiment, a big experience, a great experience. Here I am sort of talking about it, and they just were great. So a lot of things discussed, a lot of really interesting truths about our reality and kind of what's happening on the planet, and also kind of where we're going. And I asked them, like, where do you think things are going to go in 10 years? And we got some different answers. And at the end of the day, like, the answer may surprise you. But through all of the research and all of the things that they've been sharing and talking about where everything is actually going to go, it's going to be up to us. It's going to be up to our energy, up to our frequency, and the truth that we choose to create on the planet. And I mean, that's a beautiful thing. And the other, I think, interesting consensus, well, I'll leave it. As I post the video next week, you'll definitely want to see everything we did and talked about. It's pretty awesome. But I think the biggest thing is that we are, in essence, controlling this ascension through our own frequency. And, we're getting a lot of stuff coming in and a lot of new truths that are hitting the planet. So it's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to continue to plug in. And so I just thank everybody for watching. And these are some of the updates like I've been looking at and just like, wow, man, pretty cool stuff. Let me know down below any other news or events that you think are affecting this ascension. I'd love to comment on them or just put them out on our platform and share it with the world. So thanks for watching, everyone. And if you liked this, share it. If you liked it on YouTube, hit like and subscribe, and join us at UWealth Revolution. It's going to be a great season, and I think we're really going to be moving some big, big energies. And next time I come on, I'll talk about the Stargate that we're going to be opening up on the show and why we're doing that and what the goal is going to be. It should be awesome. Thanks, everyone, and thanks for watching this.